The Beginning, April 14th, 2009. It was only a matter of time. It was probably the first time she had held her son with any real feelings of love. For some people, a special kind of people, love can only come from accomplishments, achievements, or usefulness. For some people, love is not a natural emotion. In this case, it was the latter. Betty, the loan shark Yan, held her son, not in a hug or a loving embrace, but rather straight out from her as far as her skinny arms could reach. She never noticed her son's tears or screams. Betty was looking past him, directly into the eyes of the assassin who came to kill her. It was a trap. Betty knew it as soon as the black van pulled behind her and blocked her. She didn't have time to get out and run for it. The assassin was at her door. She only had time to reach over and pull her son onto her lap and use him like a shield. Betty was on her way home when she got a phone call. A client wanted to pay her back tonight. He had the money and he didn't want to wait until tomorrow. That was fine for Betty. Better to have the money tonight than to have her idiot clients go gamble it away again. In the loan sharking business, you mostly had to deal with good people, normal people, who have a problem with gambling. After all, if they didn't have a problem with gambling, they didn't need a loan shark, did they? Usually, her clients were the kind that paid on time. Sometimes they needed to be reminded, and other times, not so often, they needed to get a slap in the face. Betty had no problem with giving slaps to her clients that didn't pay on time. She liked to think that she was connected, that she was protected, like the pilot fish swimming under a shark. The assassin's gun was waving back and forth, trying to avoid the child. Betty knew she should not have made this last stop. She should have waited until the morning to pick up the money, but greed got the best of her. It's easier to sleep once you have cold, hard cash in your hands. Betty was not one for begging, but she pleaded with the assassin. "Dugga, please don't shoot my son." Dugga did not answer. He knew that she would eventually drop the child. Betty knew Dugga, knew who he worked for, and knew why he was there to kill her. Vancouver's a small city in a small country, smaller still in the black business that she was in. She swore at him in Chinese, "Chow chi bai," which roughly translates into "you stinky cunt." This was the kind of insult that didn't faze Dugga. Nothing fazed Dugga. He had a job to do, and he would do it. That was his reputation. He didn't enjoy it, but Betty was a traitor, a thief, and mostly she was stupid. She was sitting on a gold mine and didn't even dig into it. She was in the way of progress, in the way of business, in the way of real wealth. And if the boss said she had to go, then she had to go. Betty was angry at herself for not thinking that she was a target. Of course she was a target. How could she be so naive? As the assassin waved his gun around the child, Betty tried to move her son in front of the gun, but it was difficult work, laborious work, and even a 7-year-old boy was heavy. She tried to press the young boy against the window to block Dugga's vision, but the gray S-Class Mercedes had a very large driver's side window. In her mind, no doubt, she thought, no human would shoot a child. In Dugga's mind, he thought, what kind of mother would use her child as a human shield? Both soundly justified in their beliefs. Dugga shot out the window, pushed the child out of the way, and shot Betty in the head twice. Dugga calmly put his gun into his dress pants, between his Armani shirt and his Hermes belt. Walked around the corner, got into a silver Honda that was waiting for him, and drove away. No tires screech, no sirens wailed, just the deafening, screaming child scrambling to get out of a smoking, bloody Mercedes. The silver Honda took the first right, went down a few blocks, and pulled into an underground parking stall. Two men got out of the car. One walked out to the front, the other to the back. They took off the license plates, replaced them with different ones, and got into a red Toyota Camry a few blocks down the street again. He pulled into an underground parking lot, pulled out his handphone, and told his boss that it was done. Like a surgery removing an obstruction in the body. Only this bloody surgery was to remove a roadblock to business. To do business, real business, you needed to first effectively network important people with important jobs. And those people, they had to need something from you. Betty was sitting on this gold mine, but she didn't know it. She didn't know how to use it effectively, efficiently, and properly. In the black business, it wasn't enough to be brave and bold and smart. Above all, you needed to be ruthless. This is the business where winner takes all, and losers, well, losers are face down in a pool of their own blood, while their infant children are irreversibly psychologically damaged. This is the black business, and black eats black.